Hello guys, this is your host Nishant and today we have with us MSI Modern 15 A5M laptop that has Ryzen 5500U CPU and 8GB of RAM. It comes with integrated Vega graphic card. So let's get started. So this is how the laptop looks like. You have a metallic lid on the top of it. On the left side of the laptop, you have a 3.5mm audio jack, a USB Type A, Type C, HDMI out, and a power delivery port, which is a barrel type. This Type C port does not support power delivery in, which is a bummer because most of the laptops in this form factor have this feature. On the right side, you get two USB A and a micro SD card reader. On the bottom of the laptop, you can clearly see two fans and copper heat pipes through the vents, which is a good thing because typically in this arrangement, you get only one fan. So that will keep our thermals under good control. That we will see later as well. The back lid is fairly easy to take off by just unscrewing these screws. But be aware of this factory seal sticker right in the middle of the laptop. You have one screw beneath it. And some people say that, if you tear it, MSI will not honor your warranty. But at least for me, in my use case, in New Delhi, on my older MSI laptop, I upgraded my hard disk, and even after that, they serviced it without any issues. In fact, once I left the service center, they put in a new sticker there, so it was fine with me. So we have a full-size keyboard on this laptop, which I really like. The keys are big, fairly spaced out, easy to type. It has good key travel, and there is no false springy feeling in any of the keys. It is a joy to type on this laptop. The best part about this laptop is the full-size arrow keys on the right side. Now please note guys, not every one of us is a right-hander. So while most of the gamers use WSAD keys to travel around, if you are a left-hander, you would like to use these arrow keys to travel around and a mouse on the left side because that is your stronger hand to navigate. That is not possible if you have tiny arrow keys on a laptop, but this laptop covers both of those features pretty good. So yeah, really happy about it. So this laptop gets a white backlit keyboard. You have 3 levels of light. So this is off right now. You have 1 level, 2 level, and 3rd level, and completely off. So yeah, you can control the light from the F8 key. So this is the trackpad of the laptop. It is not fairly big, not very small as well, just a medium sized and works okay. No complaints about it. It's not a glass top, but a good plastic it seems. It supports Windows gestures as well. So every Windows 10 gesture that you have works because it is using the precision drivers. So no complaints from my side. So right off the bat, one thing that I don't like about this laptop is the hinge mechanism. I mean, typically once you have the hinge at 90 degrees, it is perfectly fine. You can see there is no wobble. I mean, this is perfectly fine. It is pretty sturdy, and even by doing this, it does not go back. But once you open it to around say 140 degree, it has no support. It goes down by its own. See here. See here. I mean, it does not happen with my other laptops. Now you might argue who uses their laptop at this angle. I'll show you a couple of good examples which you might be using, but you don't know that you are using. So just be with me. So this is the first use case scenario. Suppose you are working on your laptop. So this is the typical angle you will work on your laptop at. So you are working on your laptop, all of a sudden you feel that you are working too much and you need to take a rest. You need to step back and you lift your laptop. It goes down. So this is the second use case. I use my laptop a lot like this. Suppose I'm laying down on the couch watching the match on the television while at the same time working on my laptop. Because of the reason that I just showed you, this hinge does not inspire much confidence. It will often fall down just touching my knees like this while I'm working, or maybe a little bit moving. Also, the edges here are at almost 90 degree. It just digs down in my knees. There is no rounded edges here, and I'll show you. So this one. So it dig downs in your knees and causes a lot of pain. So typically in 5 to 10 minutes you will feel like sitting up properly and do your work. There are two sides to it. You might argue it is making you sit in a proper way, but I think that is my choice, that is my stuff, however I use it. So not for me at least, I'll say. So at first I thought it was an issue with my particular unit, and I really hoped it was, because I was thinking of maybe exchanging it with a better unit. But if I go by the comments of the buyers of the same unit, it seemed to be a generic thing, and I'm not sure how MSI is going to address it. I mean, of course, everybody's use case is different, but yeah, it is an issue, in my opinion. So if you're already disgusted by the hinge mechanism and don't want to buy this product anymore and don't want to watch this review anymore, that's okay. I understand you. I'm not going to waste your time. But before you go, do leave us a subscribe and like, because of the honest opinion that we are giving you. But for the rest of us, it is a pretty good laptop. It has good build quality, metallic build quality, and if you are somebody who's sitting on the desk most of the time doing programming or maybe playing occasional games and who does not tilt his screen more than 120 degree, it's going to be perfectly all right for you. So if you are still interested, move on. So let's have a look at the RAM that is being used in this laptop. So we have a single slot which is preoccupied in this laptop, 8 gig, 3200 megahertz. This RAMs, from the product code here, what I can search on internet, it is in Hynix RAM, but the best part is it is in RX 8 RAM. That means it is a high density RAM which is going to perform better than RX 16. I'm really happy about it. I think this is just a silicon lottery. You might get RX 16 as well, but I've got RX 8. So that means I am going to propagate one more RX 8 RAM in my laptop, and that is going to improve the performance of this laptop by at least 10 to 15%. In fact, I've already ordered this RAM today, so it is another RX 8 module, as you can see on your screen, by ADATA, 3200 megahertz. So that means after this RAM is slotted in my laptop, I have a dual channel RAM configuration, which is going to give it a significant boost. Alright, so these are the final results for the hard disk speed. Again, not top of the line, but pretty in line with most of the cost-effective SSDs that we might find in the market. The sequential reads are pretty okay, and the random speeds are also in line with most of the hard disks that I have covered in this price range. Nothing to boast about, but it works pretty well for me. I mean, I haven't observed any slowdown in the loading of games or programs that I've been using in this laptop so far. And the best part is you have an additional slot available with you to propagate another NVMe type SSD in this laptop, so you can add more. Now talking about the upgradability options, this laptop comes pre-populated with one 8 gig RAM module, that is a Hynix RAM RX 8 high density module, which gives you option to add another RAM module of same capacity and then have this working in dual channel mode. That is very good. Also, there is one NVMe SSD pre-populated in the laptop, that is the Kingston NVMe SSD. You can add one more to increase the total capacity. So yeah, I think in this price range I haven't seen that good of a laptop in terms of the hardware specs, the raw power that it can deliver. It has two fans to control the temperature, copper pipes to dissipate those heat, two RAM slots, two NVMe SSD slots. What else would you ask for? I think these are great upgradability options. So this is the screen specs for this laptop. It is a full HD 60Hz panel, nothing special about it. It has 45% NTSC gamut coverage. Some might say that they find the colors of these type of screens pretty washed out, but for this amount of price you're gonna get only this. I mean, for me, while playing games or while doing productive works, I do not find any problem at all, and moreover you can change or adjust the color temperature of the screen by the AMD software, so that's pretty fine for me. So it comes with a 52 watt hour lithium ion battery, and it has been giving me a very good backup on battery as well. So so I've been running this laptop mostly in performance mode, and even in performance mode on auto cooling, it gives me easily 4.5 to 5 hours of real working real state. If I just play a YouTube video on a playback, which is not really a correct indicator of how well your battery will perform, but that goes beyond 10 hours easily. So yeah, for me the battery has been really good. if I tone down to the silent mode, which actually restricts much of the CPU, and other power limiter are in place, then I easily get more than 6.5-7 hours of battery usage on this laptop. So that's pretty good for me. One thing that I do not like about this laptop, like right out of the box, out of 52 watt hour, the maximum capacity of my battery is around 50 watt hour. That means a 2.9% of wear. I don't think this is good quality control. I mean, 0.5 to 1% wear is pretty understandable. I have had laptops which had zero wear, but 2.9, which is almost 3% wear of for a laptop which is just 1 day old or 2 day old, is not acceptable in my moment. So I'm not sure how long this is going to sustain, but battery wear is not linear, frankly. So it might stay at this figure for even few months and then go down. So yeah, this is just an observation that I'm telling you. Your unit might vary. Alright, for the Wi-Fi, it has an Intel Wi-Fi 6 AX200 module, so that is pretty good. It's not using those cheap Realtek or MediaTek modules to provide Wi-Fi 6 connectivity. Intel 6 AX200 is really good chip for this budget-oriented laptop that gives you full Wi-Fi speed, whatever you have in your home. I mean, I have a pretty meager 150 meg up and down, and it gives me that full speed. Even if you are using upwards of 400 or 500 Mbps, I don't think that's going to be a problem for you. So let us have a look at the BIOS options now. This is a pretty basic laptop with a very basic BIOS. This is the main screen of the BIOS, the advanced screen, the boot screen, security, and that's it. Nothing fancy here. You just have your usual BIOS update configuration, USB configuration, and some other things. So yeah, very simple BIOS all in all, which is expected with a laptop at this price point. So this is how the internal camera looks like. It is a standard 720p camera, nothing special about it. I see the picture quality is quite grainy, but I think it should be possible for most of the meetings online. This is a pretty common trend that we are seeing in almost all the laptops in India, be it upwards of 1 lakh. That the camera is pretty crappy. Maybe it is due to a smaller sensor that they are able to place on the top of the laptop because of because they try to make the bezels as small as possible. And also the sound you are hearing is being recorded from the internal mic of the laptop. So let me know, how do you think about it? So as we have seen in the physical overview earlier, that this laptop comes with 2 dedicated fans. You can control some aspects of it through MSI Center for Business and Productivity. So once you open it, you get few options: high performance, balanced, silent, and super battery. In all of these scenarios, it automatically applies some algorithm based on the presets. But if you turn on the high performance, you get few more options. You get the option of setting up the highest brightness that the screen can go to. So I'm setting it up to 100%. And one thing that I like is, under the fan speed column, you have auto, advanced, and cooler booster. If you turn on cooler booster, I mean right now it is on auto or advanced, the system will automatically analyze how much cooling do you need and you ramp up the fans according to that. But if you turn on cooler booster, just listen to this. It spins up the fan at the highest speed it can. So I think this is a good feature in case wherein you want to play those long hours of gaming session, or you want to do some specific benchmarking wherein you don't want the cooler to ramp up slowly, and thereby decreasing few 100 points in whatever benchmark you are running. So it is better to have that on cooler booster and then run the benchmarks. But for most of the cases, auto is fine. I also like the fact that in advanced mode, you can actually define your own fan curve. You get actually 2 fans, CPU and GPU. Now in this case, fan 1 is known as CPU, fan 2 is known as GPU, because there is no dedicated GPU in this laptop. The GPU is actually integrated into the SoC of the CPU itself. So you consider it as fan 1 and fan 2, and you can define the fan curve yourself. And I haven't seen any laptop which comes for this much amount, around 46K, 45K, that provides you that much granular control over the fan speed. So this is awesome in my opinion. So guys, I hope you are liking the review so far, and if you are, please do consider subscribing the channel and leaving a like on this video. That helps us to grow and reaching out to more and more people who are maybe looking for the review of this particular unit. That doesn't take much of your time and helps this channel a lot. Now we will test how well this laptop supports Linux out of the box. So I have Fedora 34 live USB with me. So I'm going to be booting this laptop into Fedora 34 and see what peripherals are working and what is not working. So let's get started. So let us see what works and what does not. All right, here we are. I'm going to say try Fedora. Try it, close. All right, what is working? Wi-Fi. Yeah, it is able to find my Wi-Fi network. So let me quickly connect to it. Yeah, I am connected. So that is good. Let us see if we are on net. Yes, indeed we are. So let me open youtube.com and try maybe play some no copyright music because I don't want any copyright strike. Yep. So the speakers work out of the box, the Wi-Fi works. Yes, so the speaker works out of the box, the Wi-Fi works. What else works? Let me see. Alright, so if you can see, the keyboard is working. I can see that the trackpad is working. Let us see if the keyboard lights work. Yes, the keyboard light intensity switch works as well. So all in all, everything works. My mouse that is a Razer Death Header, it works. So yeah, I mean the Linux support for this laptop seems to be very good. Typically with other laptops, yeah, the Lenovo and the HP that I have tested previously, some of the peripherals were not working out of the box. So this is a very good news for most of the developers and programmers who use Linux in their day-to-day operations. So now let me judge the performance of this laptop in synthetic benchmarks like Cinebench R20. So I will be logging in this run through the hardware info 64 software, and I am running at high performance and the fan speed at auto. I am not running at cooler booster mode. So let me start this. So at the same time, let me pull up the hardware info. So as the test has started in the background, let us have a look at the GPU or CPU temperatures. Okay, so CPU temperature is 56 degrees Celsius, which is perfectly fine, which is not a problem at all, because this AMD Ryzen CPU can go up to 105 degrees Celsius before starting to thermal throttle. So that's perfectly fine. And if you see here, the package power that the CPU is drawing from the source is around 22 watts, 21 watts. So that is also constant. The maximum temperature it has hit is 62 degrees Celsius now. And I haven't heard the fans ramping up till now. I mean, temperature is also controlled. As you can see, it's 63. Just 63 is nothing in my opinion. So yeah, the fans have not started to ramp up yet. So let it complete the run. In my earlier HP 14S laptop review, which have the same processor 5500U, I got around 2600 points. So let us see how much points do we get here. Alright, so we have got 43 points, which is in line with most of the laptops which have the same CPU. Now, in my opinion, what matters is the sustained performance. Can this laptop get the same performance over a longer period of time? The HP laptop that I reviewed few days or few weeks back, it gave me 2600 point, but when I ran the benchmark over and over again, it dipped down to 2400 as well as 2300. Then it again came back to 2600 once it's cooled down. So let me do one thing. I'm going to put this benchmark in a loop and see how much score that I get. So I'm going to be running this benchmark for 10 minutes. That's a good time. So 600 seconds. And let's see. Also, I'm going to be logging this 10 minutes, and I'm going to show you the charts at the end of the run. And again, I'm not fiddling with the CPU curve. It is at auto. So I expect the fans to ramp up in this test. Alright, so we are almost halfway through the test, and the maximum CPU temperature that it has got is around 71.5 degrees Celsius, which is perfect in my opinion. The CPU fans are completely silent at this moment. They have not ramped up yet, and I don't think they are going to ramp up at this temperature because 70 is very much under control. So let this test continue and we'll see the results then. One more thing that I would like to point out is, as we are almost a little more than half throughout the test, why I see that this test is going to be very fantastic considering the 10-minute loop is that the CPU is still drawing around 22 watts from the source. If there had been any throttling or CPU was under any pressure, this core power will go down substantially. It will be around 17, 18 or even less, because now the CPU wants to cool itself down. CPU wants to do less work, hence it will draw lesser power from the source. But no, here the CPU continues to draw around 22, even more than that. So the CPU continues to work at full throttle, and I believe we are going to see excellent results at the end of 10 minutes. Alright, so 10-minute run has completed, and you can see that the score is 2540, and it is phenomenal in my opinion. So this laptop is a gem when it comes to sustained performance scenario, at least amongst all the 5500U laptops that I have tested so far. Thumbs up from me. Alright, so let's discuss the charts here. So this is the charting about the Cinebench R20 single run. As you can see, it started at around 3400 megahertz, the clock speed, and then it settled around 3200 megahertz for the complete test. This is the power in watt which the CPU was drawing from the brick, and it remained at around 22 watt for the complete test. This is the core temperature. It started to rise and it settled around 64 degree for the complete test. Now what's good about this thing is that the core clock was not dropping even once while the complete test was running, and that is further solidified that CPU was drawing 22 watts or more throughout the test. If that was drawing lesser watt, that would mean lesser clock, and it may be due to a higher temperature, but the temperature did not go out of control. It remained at around 64, that is the max. So all in all, very good score. We got around 2600 points in Cinebench R20 single run. As you can see, the core clock remained at around 3200 megahertz for the complete test, and this is in line with the test that we did for the single run. This is the wattage. It remained around 22 watt for the complete test, and the temperature, it rose and it attained a maximum temperature of 70 degree, and the score that we got at the end of 10 minutes was 2578 points, which is the maximum amount of score that I've got from any 5500 laptop that I've tested so far. So excellent thermal management due to the bigger, chunkier copper pipes that you have seen while I was showing you the physical overview of the laptop. So I'm going to do one more test here, and that is how does the laptop performs while it is not connected to the wall socket. While the laptop is connected to wall socket, it performs at its maximum performance, but when you plug it out, the performance dips down. It typically happens more with Intel rather than Ryzen. So let's see how does this laptop perform. So let me unplug the wall socket and run the Cinebench R20 again. I am monitoring this test again with HW info, but let us see how much score do we get. So again, I'm not connected to the wall socket and the temperature is around 57 degrees Celsius here. The CPU is drawing 22 watt. That is a very good thing. So this 22 watt indicates that the overall CPU performance is going to be similar to what it was when it was connected with the wall socket. Alright, so the test has passed and you can see we have got 2552 points. That is the best score that I have received from any laptop which is running 5500U SoC. So this is at the top of the food chain performance wise. So as you can see, the performance of this laptop when it was connected to the wall socket versus when it was running on battery is almost same. So it is a very good use for the people who are on the run for most of the time, because first, the Ryzen processor gives you a better battery backup, and second, that whenever on battery as well, the performance is not dipping down. Alright, so we are going to be playing some games now: Fortnite, GTA 5 and Valorant, and see how well does this laptop perform in those games. So let me launch Fortnite first. Alright, so I'm recording this gameplay externally, not from any internal recording program, because I don't want to hamper the FPS. Let us see the settings first. It has picked up the settings medium by default, meshes at low, VSync off, and the rendering mode is performance alpha, which is going to give me more FPS. Back and let me play. Alright, so on the top left corner you can see the CPU, GPU and the RAM statistics, the FPS as well. So the CPU usage is around 33, the temperature, GPU usage, temperature, and the RAM, how much RAM is used. So let me jump out of this ship. Alright, this is fairly responsive. As you can see, the FPS is upward of 100 right now. So please pardon my playing skills. I'm just here to show you how well this can perform for you while you are playing. So let me do one thing. Let me try to change the settings. And okay, I think I cannot do that while the game is running. So let me terminate this game. Alright, we are back to the lobby and let me change the settings now. So the viewing distance is medium, but the texture is high. Meshes I'm going to do high. What else can we check? I think this should be enough. Let me put the viewing distance to far. See how does it perform. Okay, even in these settings you can see we are getting around like 80 FPS. Pretty good in my opinion, right? Let us try to get to a gunfight and see if that hampers the performance. Bloody hell. So yeah, you get the idea. I mean, the performance is pretty solid. So let me jump to another game to show you how that performs. Okay, now we are going to be testing Valorant. So let us see the settings first. Video settings, graphic quality. So these are the auto settings that has been applied by the system. High, So yeah, so I'm on low right now. Let me do one thing. Let me apply medium settings of Valorant, um, and see if this CPU can sustain that. Um, okay, and let me try to find a match, and then I'll get right back. Okay, so the match has been found, and as you can see here, the GPU is almost maxing out. It's more than 90%. Although the temperatures are well under control, uh, it feels very responsive. As I'm moving my mouse, there is no lag at all. I can move around, jump around very quickly. As I'm playing on medium presets, the games look very nice as well. So yeah, let's see. I mean, if you can see on the top, the FPS that I'm getting is more than 70 as well. So that's very good again. Anyways, I do not know how to play this game, but this is just for you to see how good of frame rates you can get while you're playing the game. So yeah, you can see I'm getting 70, 60 FPS. Yeah, that was a failure from my side. But again, you get the impression. So the GPU you can see on the top left is around 94-95%. So the VRAM is about to get maxed, but still it is not throttling down. It's good. The FPS that I'm getting is more than 70, 79, 80 FPS. The game is very responsive, and the CPU temperature is well under control, 60, 66 degrees Celsius. In fact, let me see one thing. Can I increase the video quality even more? Let's see. So I'm at, as you can see, I'm at high presets all the way. And yeah, see. So this is high preset. Again, very responsive, getting around 70 FPS. I know it is not the top of the line FPS that you might want, but 70 FPS on an integrated APU, this is just ridiculous. And look at the temperatures, not going above 70 at all. This is just ridiculous. So let me jump to another game now. So here we are. So I hope you get the idea from the benchmark so far how this is going to perform in full screen, full high definition mode. The graphics, I haven't changed anything. It has picked up the graphics settings automatically. So yeah. Now coming to the conclusion, should you buy this laptop? I think if you can look past that hinge thing that I told you at the beginning of the video, and if you just forget that this is a laptop that can open up to 180 degrees, just consider this as a laptop which will open up to the usual 110 or 20 degrees, which is a normal opening stance of any laptop while we are working on it. Then you are pretty happy with it, because the performance of this laptop, this 5500U processor, is just best, the top performance that I have observed on any laptop, be it Lenovo, HP, Dell, Asus. This particular laptop from MSI, that is A15 A5M, is the top of the line performance. So yes, the price also matters, also the upgradability options. So I think most of the boxes are ticked for this laptop. You get a very good gaming performance, you get RX 8 RAM, that is high density RAM. So what else would you ask for? In my opinion, this is a good buy for anybody who is most of the time sitting on a desk doing his programming, doing his gaming, doing his work, but not for somebody who is on the move most of the time, who would like to use his laptop on top of a high table, sometimes carrying his laptop with him to other point and shifting from one meeting room to another. I don't think this is a laptop for them just because of that hinge issue. And by the way, I will be selling this laptop at a very good price. So if you want to buy this laptop, you can have a check at the Telegram link that I've posted in the description. So yes, that is it from my side, guys. This is Nishan signing off. And if you like the review, please do subscribe to the channel and leave a like. That helps us. Please do.